That actually was a question. What kind of, how do you get paid? You talk about a percentage. Is there kind of a set percentage fee you charge? And what kind of items, as an example, do you get fees from? And again, obviously the bigger the band, the more they sell and other stuff. When do you get to actually start making money as a manager?
Well, I love working with artists that are like multi-branding artists. So, for instance, currently my artist Julie Black's a TV celebrity, so we work for a TV network, so I commission that. She's a motivational public speaker, in particular for young women. So that's a whole other thing that I do. I also book that motivational speaking circuit. We also host Bill Clinton, and we recently did the Nelson Mandela thing. So those are all gigs I book that's separate of my booking agent in a lot of cases. So on that, I'm commissioning twice, but a smaller percentage in each case, just because I'm bringing that work to her. And I used to be a booking agent, so I love doing some of that still. We just did a book deal recently, so I'll commission whatever the royalties from that are. And then from her live stuff, and then we do some, in her case it's a certain amount of like beauty or water products or whatever, so any endorsements I commission. I covered it. With Hoxie, he was a producer, he had a book, we had a label together, I commissioned it all. But a lot of that's created we create that stuff with our artists, so.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Anything I bring to the table, I commission, and even if I don't bring it to the table, I commission it because it's a lot of my work that would have put that next situation into place. So.
A lot of times, artists will ask, "Well, why do I have to pay you?" We look at it as, we're going to earn you enough money that we'll get our money out of it.
And we don't take money for years too, while it's being developed.
But the range, it varies, but 10%, as low as 10. Depending on, again, the type of artist, as high as 25%. 20% is always seemed to be the number that most managers throw around, 15. Booking agent, 10 usually. Again, the more money you earn, the more leverage the artist has to say, okay, you know what? Now I'm making all this money, you're making less. And because there's less work involved in booking a tour, for instance, when the act is a multi-platinum artist, but you spend a good 3-4 years making no money, just hoping for the day that you finally get those paydays. But you commission merchandise sales. Again, it can vary on where you commission off the gross, so it's a set price based on the gross number, or you wait till they've paid the cost of the goods, so whatever the shirts cost, the vendors, taxes, and then whatever that number left over, you commission that. Publishing, money they make from TV, their syncs, like anything that comes in and the artist holds in their hand, that's the way our approach is. That's what we commission. We don't commission recording budgets or video budgets, stuff that sort of passes through, because they're not benefiting from that. Because overall, you hope to all benefit from what you've recorded, so that you don't want to sort of deplete the recording budget before you have a chance to record. So, but basically, we commission everything. But the rates may vary from company to company, or manager to manager.
Great. Sandy, just something I just asked a question about a woman in the music industry. You call yourself a womanager. Maybe talk a little bit about if you have any interesting insight on some of the obstacles maybe you faced as a woman in the business, and maybe some thoughts, interesting stories about kind of a unique perspective from your point of view.
Well, Julie actually gave me that name because when I first started dealing with this artist, I'd phone, like in that world, everyone has a handle. It's like, hello, if you say that, if I said my name, they wouldn't know who I was, so they only know me by my handle. Like, I'm phoning on her half, and it's like, hello, is Mental Supreme there? And these are the kind of names, so Big Daddy, that one always kills me. It's like, I ain't calling you Big Daddy. but so anyway, I got that name because of Julie, and that's the only way my calls get answered is when I deal specifically with her, and especially like any DJs or anything I'm dealing with. As far as being a woman in the business, I mean, I don't know. Hell, I like being one of 4 women in a room of 50 young dudes. I don't know. It's pretty nice, right? So, I don't know. I mean, you're asking, like, when I first started, it was very different, you know. In the 80s, that was a really different thing than, I think nowadays it's there's so many more women in the business. But when I first started, that wasn't the case. And so, yeah, there was some interesting. I used to work at RCA Records, which was then RCA. It's now BMG. And I remember when I got hired, the guy said to me, and it was, I live in Toronto, and this place was out in Markham at the time. You remember RCA in the old days? That the women couldn't wear jeans. And I was like, really? Okay. And I'd been out on tour with bands before then, all kinds of stuff. And I was like, really? You can't wear jeans? No, none of the girls could. And anyway, I did start wearing jeans near the end. We moved to the Much Music building when it became BMG Records. And yeah, so that was fun. I would just sleep in my frock, so I wouldn't have to get up too early. And just had to brush my teeth and get out the door, basically. But so yeah, it was a little wacky. But you know what? All in all, it's been. I don't know if I've been fortunate or I find it pretty easy and pretty nice.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters.
Yeah.
Where it does matter, a lot of the labels, it's a boys' club a lot of times, but in the management side, there's a lot of women.
Interestingly enough, I got out. I had a really great boss that I worked with at BMG Records, and he was the head of marketing. And I remember I'd been offered a job at CTI, which was a booking agent, and it was half the money I made at the record company, and there was no benefits or anything. And I remember, and I went in and I said, Tim, what do you think? Like, I've been offered this job, and he said to me, listen, like, as a woman, the furthest you'll ever get in this record company is head of publicist, and you're just too talented. You should leave and take less money. And that was the best move I ever made, because I did go and take half the money and did that job for about 2 years before I got into management. But plus I learned how to book bands. It was amazing. So it's pretty different now.
But yeah, there's a lot of women. What we do have a lot is momagers. The moms want to be managers. We got to avoid those people. So.